When my father was killed by someone, I thought that I would never feel whole or complete again. I thought that I was always going to be living in this void. And I did. I lived in that void for a really long time. Grief feels different for everyone, and grief is a process that you have to go through on your own. There is no one way to get through grief that is going to work for every single person. Now, when my father was killed by someone, it took me 2 years to want to even be able to think or move or try to do anything. And I hit my rock bottom when the dose of Aleve PM that I would take wasn't working anymore. I would come home from work and take Aleve PM every single night when my daughter was with her father, and I would just want to sleep. I wouldn't want to think or feel or do. And my rock bottom came when the normal dose that I took didn't work. And so I took 2 more. And then in the middle of the night around, 11, 12, I took 2 more. And then I woke up around 3 a.m. with the worst aches and pains that I've ever felt. And I knew that something was wrong. I knew that I had to heal. I knew that I had to fix myself. I couldn't keep living on Aleve PM, no sleep, no joy, no happiness. And so one of the first things I started to do when I really tried, because it was hard, I didn't want to do anything without my dad. He was my life, my world, my everything. And it was really hard to take that first step. And it probably sounds really silly to some of you, and it probably sounds really simple. And you're going to say, what the heck, that's ridiculous. But it was hard for me to do. The first thing I did was start going for a walk, like I'm doing now. And when you're in a state of grief, your body hurts, your mind hurts. The thought of doing anything, the thought of moving, of going somewhere, of lifting your legs up and moving, the thought of breathing the fresh air that someone you love can no longer breathe, the thought of feeling the sun just on your face, feeling so good when the person you love was killed and they can't do that, that cycles over and over and over in your mind. And so yes, something as simple as walking. And that's what started me healing. That's what started me moving forward. I had hit this stage in my life where I could look back, and for 2 years I was a zombie. I hardly slept when my daughter was with me because I wouldn't take any Aleve PM when she was with me. And when she was with her dad, all I did was take Aleve PM so I didn't have to be awake. I had become so desolate, so isolated, so broken in my own body. And for whatever reason, walking was what came to my mind. That night, I saw my father's military flag. I had it hanging over my bed. And I'm in this pain. I have a headache. My body's hurting. I knew that I had taken way too much Aleve PM. But that thought came to me. Start small, start little, go for a walk. And that's what saved me. And it may sound ridiculous to some of you, but that one act of just starting something, anything small, little, is what helped me. And from there, I started to walk more. I got into running. At one point, I could run 6 miles and be done and not be out of breath. But it snowballed from there. I was able to go out in public again, go grocery shopping again. And I would have my stuff delivered. But like going to the grocery store in public was something that I was just couldn't do because I was just so locked inside of my body. Everything felt hard. Everything felt impossible. But that one shift is what snowballed into everything else happening, everything else healing and moving forward. And now that I'm an energy healer, a medium, a psychic, and I teach other people how to heal their grief, how to be psychics, how to be a medium, how to connect to the friends and family that they've lost, I can tell you that when you move your body, you're moving the energy within your body. And when you're staying stuck and stagnant, which we all need, the stages of grief, you have to go through them, you cannot bypass them. So there's gonna be a time in your grief where you have to sit stagnant and be stagnant. But when you get that call to move forward, it's time to move forward. When you get that call to change, it's time to change. And as you move your body, you're moving the energy. So for example, I started going for walks and it started to move the energy in my body. Now, I didn't know this at the time because I hadn't started learning that anybody, all of us, every single person here has the ability to be a medium. I didn't know that yet. I didn't know anything about energy work. But now I know that as you start walking or moving, maybe your little thing is crocheting. Maybe your little thing that's going to heal you is going for a swim. Maybe your little thing that's going to heal you is to go to the grocery store, to physically get dressed instead of be in sweats all day. Whatever that little thing is for you. As you start to move your body and you do that little thing more and more, and it snowballs into more and more things that you do, you're moving that energy in your body. And as you do that, the grief that has been sitting and weighing on you starts to move as well. And that's how you heal your life. That's how you heal yourself. It took me 2 years to get to that point where I was ready to move my energy, where I was ready to do anything. But even after that, it's not something that comes right away. Just because I started walking and moving my energy doesn't mean it started to happen right away. But it slowly started to help me feel better. And day by day, moment by moment, I was releasing that grief through the movement in my body, whether it be walking like I am now, running, crocheting, or whatever it is for you. Your body holds on to energy, it holds on to emotions, it holds on to feelings. And the way through your grief is to move your body, to move those feelings and move those emotions so that it can start to express, so that it can start to relieve your body, so that it can start to release. And for me, that release came in waves. And for a lot of my clients, it does too. I remember going on a walk like this one time, and I had done it many, many times. It's the same route I take all the time. And I stopped because out of nowhere, I couldn't breathe. And I'm coughing, and I'm choking, and I'm trying to get in air, and I'm trying to breathe. And then all of a sudden, I let out this cough that just, all this air came out. And at the time I didn't know, again, I wasn't an energy healer at that point, but my body was releasing this huge energetic ball of grief. And all it took was me saying, I don't want to feel this way anymore, and putting action to it. Now, my father was everything in the world to me. The first word I ever said was Dada. We did everything together. If my friends invited me somewhere, they knew my dad was coming. He lived with me. To say that my dad was my best friend is an understatement. And so getting that call to say that somebody else got to take him away from me, somebody else got to decide his fate, somebody else got to decide mine, because now I don't have my dad. That kind of grief stays with you, and it eats you alive, it eats you away. I know it did for me for years. But all of this is to say, you can heal from these situations. you can heal from anything. Now, I want to say too that not all grief, not all trauma, not all pain is the same. Horrific things happen to women. Horrific things happen to children. And I don't want to diminish any of that. Everybody's grief is going to look different. Everybody's trauma is going to look and feel different. But I don't want to diminish or say that you can get over it. That's not my message. But my message is this. If you can do it, do it. If you can heal your life, heal your life. Don't stay in grief. Don't stay in sadness. And if you need help, get professional help. But there is so much to be grateful for, to be thankful for. And again, I just want to say, things that happen to women and children, horrific things that happen to soldiers, I'm not talking about those things. But my story, for example, of losing my father, I didn't want to stay stuck in that. I wanted to be able to love again. I wanted to be able to feel again and move again. But it takes you saying and doing and acting on what you want. It takes you moving your body in one little way, and then it starts to snowball into more and more and more. I remember when my dad was first killed, I never thought I would smile again or laugh. And the first time I laughed, it had to have been like 3 or 4, 5 months after. The first time I laughed, I think I cried for a good hour afterwards because I felt so guilty. I felt so bad that I was enjoying my life, that I was happy. And my dad was gone. He was killed by someone in a horrific way. Then I learned how to do mediumship. I learned how to connect to him. I learned how to talk to him. I learned how to do professional readings for others. And through my dad and through others, I learned that they don't want us to feel that way. Your friends and family that you are grieving, your friends and family that you've lost, no matter how you've lost them, you're going to grieve no matter how you lost them. The moment they pass away, that moment on, they want you to be happy, they want you to be free, they want you to laugh, they want you to feel, they want you to go out and explore the world, they want you to travel, they want you to find the love of your life, they want you to put your face in the sun, feel the fresh air. So if this is any consolation to anyone watching this, grief is a thing that we have to process on our own, and nobody can take you through that journey. Sure, people can help you, of course. And if you need help, reach out, get help. I love to help people heal. Grief is my specialty. I love to help people learn how to become mediums. That's my specialty. But if you need help, reach out to anyone, a therapist, a friend, a family member. And just know that one little action, taking one little action, will snowball and will help you change your life. And the last thing is that your friends and family you've lost, they don't want you to be stuck in your grief. They don't want you to stay there. They want you to live, breathe, love, triumph. So, if there's anything that I've learned over this journey, is that love conquers all. I know that is such a cliche thing to say, but it does. I loved my dad in life. I love my dad in death. And I know that because I loved him, I was able to keep going. And love really does conquer all. And you can keep going too.